Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And now continuing on, since I reviewed the original Charlotte's Web movie, and then the sequel, now time for me to review the 2006 live-action remake of Charlotte's Web from 2006. And this is the exclusive movie and book edition, because not only it comes with a movie, but it also comes with the book as well, which to show really quick. So it comes with the movie and along with the book, which they made this a live action version of the original book cover of the cover art of the original book. Same like the layout of how the original book was, like this, but make it a live action like this. So yeah, so this is the exclusive edition, including the book and the film. So Charlotte's Web from 2006. One more. What can I say? It's a remake of the original movie. Well, also same thing of borrowing from the book by E.B. White, and like how the other ones were released by Paramount, also including Nickelodeon. Well, the second one was released by Nickelodeon too, number 2, but this is also released by Nickelodeon because it's owned by Paramount. But and I would say, yeah, I enjoy this remake. I do. Now, I would say I like this better than Charlotte's Web 2, because I reviewed Charlotte's Web 2. I was like, so average. So, I mean, the songs were forgettable in that film. I just could cut them out. But the only well-known voice actor I knew of the bunch was Amanda Bynes as Nellie, one of the spiders. So yeah, I was like, so on it. I like this. I do like this one better than Charlotte's Web 2. And I'll give credit to though. They did not make this film a musical. They did not. So I give this film credit. And it's on like about the same running time as the original movie was. And this is including, and so they add no songs in this at all. So I'm glad for that. Otherwise, I had to kept doing the same complaint, because like. Yeah, the songs, the first one were not bad, but they could just cut them out. Didn't have to be a musical. So, I'm glad they did not go the musical route with this film. So, I give a credit to this film, so. And it's directed by Gary Winick, which, sadly, he's now passed away. He died back in 2000... He died back in 2011, man. And sadly, at the age of 49, way too young. Died of pneumonia, resulting from brain cancer that spread throughout him. Man, that's totally sucks. Yeah, but Gary Winick did a good job with this film, and he also directed other films too. He directed Out of the Rain, Tadpole, 13 Going on 30. He directed that's actually one of the few one of the few chick flicks I like. 13 Going on 30 with Jennifer Gardner and Mark Ruffalo. So he directed 13 Going on 30. He also, the last films he did, including this film, he also directed Bride Wars with Anne Hathaway and Kate Hudson. Yeah. And then Letters to Julia with Amanda Seyfried. And that was like the last one he did before he passed away, so that sucks. May the guy rest in peace. So I thought he did a good job with directing Charlotte's Web, the 2006 remake. And I will say, the cast I thought did overall a really good job. There's more well-known actors that I know of. That's why I probably say cast is better than from the original, because back then I didn't know much about the original voice cast except for Debbie Reynolds, who voiced Charlotte, and those other ones like I mentioned, like young Danny Bonaduce from the Partridge Family. who plays like the little brother to Fern in that movie. So yeah, but here you got well, for the playing the humans, well, you got Dakota Fanning, who playing Fern, which I thought she did pretty good as well. I like Dakota Fanning. I like, especially when she was I Am Sam with Sean Penn, when she played Sean Penn's daughter. I thought she got I know Sean Penn, he got did he get like an Oscar nomination for that? I forget though, but but I think Dakota Fanning did get some critical stuff too as playing in I Am Sam. But I thought she did a pretty decent job in this film, and other live action. As for the other playing humans, not too familiar with, but I know one of them is Beau Bridges, who was the brother to Jeff Bridges. He's there. He pops in every once in a while because the mother, how she, like how in the original where the girl's saying, "Oh, she understands the animals. They can talk. And the mother's like, "Oh, that's nonsense," and all that. Here, because the mother goes to the doctor saying, "Oh, even though she's in good health and all that stuff, and she spends more time in that with the animals and all that stuff." And Beau Bridges pops in every now and then, like saying, "Oh, well, it's called a childhood phase. She'll eventually grow out of it." So yeah. But as for the voice cast of the animals, as for the voice of Charlotte, Julia Roberts, I thought she did a very good job as voicing Charlotte. Other voice cast, you have Steve Buscemi, who voices Templeton the Rat, which is fitting for him because he plays a good character actor as well. He's fitting for voicing a rat. So I thought he did a good job as voicing Templeton. John Cleese, he voices like the lead sheep of the flock. Oprah Winfrey voices Gussie the geese, as well as Cedric the Entertainer as well. They both voiced the geese. They did fine. Kathy Bates and Reba McEntire, they voiced the two cows, Bitsy and Betsy. They did fine as well. Thomas Haden Church, Andre Benjamin voiced these two crows that, for the most part, they're just standing on this telephone pole, staring at the scarecrow because they think it's a real person standing there, because they want to get the corn. So, and then they start attacking Templeton as well. So they just there for most part looking for food. So, and then, and I also forgot to mention another playing one of the humans, the parents. Kevin Anderson, I forgot to mention him because the film I know him from. He was speaking with Julia Roberts. He was in Sleeping with the Enemy. Sleeping with the Enemy is when Julia Roberts, she meets this new guy and falls in love with. That's Kevin Anderson, where they're both being stalked by Julia Roberts' deranged husband. So yeah, so Kevin Anderson, he was in Sleeping with the Enemy. He wasn't the deranged husband. He was the new guy that Julia Roberts falls in love with. Yeah, so he was in Sleeping with the Enemy before I mentioned that. And as for there's also, among other animals, you have the horse, Ike, voiced by Robert Redford, which he's now retired now. And yeah, because I enjoy Robert Redford, and he was kind of funny for him to hear him voicing a horse. So yeah, that Robert Redford did a good job as well. And the music by Danny Elfman I thought was very decent. Not the best score from Danny Elfman. I like Danny Elfman, a lot of his scores. My favorite of his is from Batman, Tim Burton's Batman. But not a bad score he did. So it was very decent. Another one I give credit to is how nowadays they use, for nowadays everything is CGI nowadays, including animals though, but for the most part they used real animals except for the CGI mouth movements, like so. Well, the only CGI animals were that I noticed were Templeton and Charlotte. But for the most part, like with I forgot to mention Dominic Scott K, who voices Wilbur. He does a good job as well, so I can't forget him for the credits. So yeah, Dominic Scott K, who voices Wilbur, he did fine as well. But for the most part, like all the animals, they were like the real animals were there. Using real animals, not CGI. Well, there were some CGI elements for Wilbur, like when he's playing in the mud or when he does a backflip. Of course, it is CGI because a pig can realistically a pig can't do a backflip. So there's a little bit of CGI moments with Wilbur though, but for the most part, it is a real pig, and so that most of the other animals except for Charlotte and Templeton. So I do appreciate that. So not full on CGI animals. So a lot of the part they use real animals. And well, also I think except for the crows too as well. I think they're CG'd. If they're real, then I couldn't tell. Now, like the story is basically the same thing as I explained for the original movie. Wilbur, who's the runt of the litter, about to be killed by the farmer. Dakota Fanning playing Fern saves him, and he gets some of the same lines of dialogue as well from the original, as well as I believe is the book too. So saves him, raises him, and I thought it was pretty cute when Dakota Fanning was like carrying Wilbur in this little baby basket, and you see Wilbur like in that little baby carriage, and you see his little head there in the carriage. I thought that was kind of a cute thing. But when the time comes, though, like I said, can't raise him anymore. He has to live on a farm, so he goes to the Zuckerman's farm, and we're like virtually like the animals when I play with him. So he befriends the spider Charlotte, voiced by Julie Roberts. And Julie Roberts did a really good job as voicing Charlotte. I thought she did a good job. Now, that's hard for me to say. Did she do a better job than Debbie Reynolds was as Charlotte, or it's the other way around? That one is hard for me, because they both did really good job voicing Charlotte. So to me, it's hard for me to say who was better. So I can't decide on that one, because Debbie Reynolds did a good job voicing Charlotte in the original movie, and Julie Roberts did a good job voicing her in this movie. So it's hard for me to say which is better. But all the rest of the voice cast was good too. So yeah, Robert Redford, like when it's funny when Robert Redford sees that Charlotte's a spider, he goes and faints. The horse falls and faints. And with Templeton, of course, he's the selfish rat, so he wants to eat the slobs. He has a little stuff, you know. And Charlotte wants to be Wilbur's friend. Wants to save him from being killed. So it's pretty much a lot of stuff is following like the original, as well as the book. Then of course the writing the spinning on the web, saying some pig, and then the whole town sees it, and then another one, terrific, and then eventually writing on the other one, radiant, with the help of Templeton. So then, and like I said, it's not for me to go much about this because it's the same thing, just I'm telling the exact same. So that's why I'm going through this. It's not for me to talk about because I'm saying it's the same thing like I did for the original. So, but although there is some differences, like with the crows, that's not from the original. From the movie, I can't remember if they're in the book though, but. From the original movie, the difference is there was crows in this that was not in the movie. Like they're doing the scarecrow, then eventually they pick on Templeton, and like they attack him again at the county fair as well. So that's a little bit slight changes right there. And then go to the county fair. Then Charlotte, with the help of Templeton, writes the next word, humble. Humble pig. So, Even though the pig next door won the blue ribbon, though, but everyone realizes that Wilbur is a much clearer winner at pig. So I guess like the mayor of the town gives him the medal like it was in the movie and the book as well. It gives him the medal. And when Wilbur returns, Charlotte, she lays her egg sack of 514 children, and saying that and tells Wilbur that she's dying. Tells her that like I said, it's life. We born, we live, and eventually we die. That's how life is. The cycle of life. I was about to say the circle of life. The Lion King. I'll say this right now. Live action remakes. I'll say I liked Circle of Life. Yeah, I'll say this. I like this. This is a much better remake than the movie of the remake of Lion King this year. I do like this better than the Lion King. If I'm referring better than the Lion King, I'm referring to the live action. Why am I saying live action? They say it's animated. Okay, that still bugs the hell out of me when they say it's the highest grossing animated film of all time when it's live action. What's the point of calling it live action, looking like live action when they're still calling it animated? Oh, because there's no people in it. That's why. I don't want to get into it. Otherwise, I'm gonna get all mad again. I don't want to get mad again. I'll say that this is a lot better than the Lion King 2019 remake. So, and yeah, this plays out. Yeah, this plays out a lot like the original as well. But I thought the voice cast was better, and especially I got the same sad moment when Charlotte died. But except the difference is it still made me sad when Charlotte died. Less when I felt nothing when Mufasa died in the live action remake. I'm calling it live action remake. Screw it, okay? I'm not calling it animated. I'm getting angry again. But as I said, I felt nothing when Mufasa died in the 2019 remake. Didn't have the same impact like it was in the original. Here, though, I felt because it is more of a sad thing because the little difference is though how Wilbur leaves just before. In this version, he's being taken away, leaving back to the farm before as Charlotte dies. Like unlike the original, when she dies right there, or when Wilbur is saying Charlotte, Charlotte. So, and also another little difference, that honestly though, but when Wilbur tells Templeton to get the egg sack, and you say, Will Templeton is a selfish rat and all that. Although there was a little brief moment when he got the egg sack and Charlotte says thank you. Templeton, it shows he's not totally cruel, totally selfish at all. He does a little of this, a little bowing his head, it's like respect, showing him a little he does have a little compassion after all. So I did another moment where he did a little bow of his head, showing a little bit of respect and compassion. But I didn't see that in the original, though. So yeah, when Wilbur is being taken away, saying goodbye to Charlotte, and then Charlotte watches on, then she dies right there, her closing her eyes. See, that was still a sad. It was still like the original. It was a sad scene. I still think this still was a sad scene as well. I will admit, it did read. It is still, with that scene, whether it's the remake or the original, it's still, I would still say, for his emotional tearjerker, I would say. I know I did, I will admit, seeing that from this version, yeah, I will admit, I did shed a tear. I'll be man enough to admit it, because, well, my brother, he fully believes that men don't cry. Well, I'm not like him, so. But it was still a sad scene. So when he gets back to the farm, he's very sad, and what everyone's saying, everyone's like, "Where's Charlotte?" And then they all get the hint that she's gone, and so they all bow their heads in a moment of silence that she's no longer there, to be in that corner of the doorway of the barn anymore. So that was another sad part. They all realize that she's gone, so they all bow their heads down in a moment of silence for her. So everyone's looking at the egg sack when it comes the springtime, they attach. The spiders, they fly away, except for the 3 ones, like in the original in the book as well. 3 stay behind to stay. Then, once again, the 3 spiders, their names are Joy, Arania, and Nellie. And I also forgot to mention the narrator of this film, another actor who's now passed away, Sam Shepard. Yeah, I forgot to mention he was the narrator in this film, and he passed away not that long, from a couple of years ago. So another actor has now passed on, but he narrated this, and he did a good job narrating. So yeah, it's not for me to say, because it's the same movie I was describing like the original. So, and I also this cover I do like, as you feel like the see the webs here on the pattern, you can feel like the webs right there. But yeah, Charlotte's Web from 2006. I did enjoy the film. The film did get some praise. It's 79% Rotten Tomatoes. It's a 6.3 on IMDb. It was pretty successful at the box office. This came like around the Christmas time of 2006. On a budget of $85 million, made about $144 million. So you can say it was kind of successful, you say. But yeah, I do enjoy the 2006 remake of Charlotte's Web. I will I like this better, much better than the Charlotte's Web 2. Now, will I say this is better than the original 1973 film? Maybe I'll say I like it slightly better than the original, just a little bit. Because usually I'm a guy who says, "Oh, the original is better." Not true. I prefer the 2006 remake of The Hills Have Eyes over the original, or the 2009 remake of The Last House on the Left over the original. Those are both by Wes Craven. So, no, I think the remakes are better than the original. See, there are some examples there. So yeah, I would probably say, yeah, the original movie is a classic. I will give it that still. So is the book. I think I got a little more of this, slightly more than the original. That's just me, though, in my opinion. But yeah, the voice cast does a good job. The use of the most part using real animals instead of CGI for the most part, I give kudos to. Danny Elfman's score was very decent. The direction by Gary Winick, may rest in peace. Yeah, they do a good job with this film. Yeah. But yeah, the book is still one of the most beloved children's books of all time. The book is still a classic. And the original 1973 film, I will still say it's a classic too. The sequel, like I said, overall, that's why I say this is much better than the sequel. And I also say this is better than the 2019 Lion King remake. You want me to compare it to, kids' films, remakes, I don't know. That's the worst. I keep nitpicking the Lion King. That's because that's the worst film of this year for me. Because growing up with one of my favorite films of all time, I was very insulted. That just pissed me off to no end. You can check out my epic rant on that. That just pissed me off to no end. That's why it's the worst film, and I'll still continue to nitpick at it, whatever I say. So, yeah, much better than Lion King. I'm saying it right now. But if anyone has seen the remake, I recommend you check it out. Especially, it's still sad to see Charlotte die, whether it's the original or this. But that's my thoughts on it. Of the 2006 remake, I would give it a thumb up. I would. It needs to get some praise. Critics' Choice Award calls it's a winner, best family film of the year. This guy here at Fox TV gives it 4 stars, calling it an instant classic. Richard Roper of Ebert and Rober gives it, along with this Aisha Tyler, gives it 2 thumbs up as well. And Joel Siegel of Good Morning America saying Charlotte's Web is absolutely one of the best films of the year. Now you can share the magic as a tiny spider spins a great tale of friendship and adventure in this dazzling film version of E.B. White's beloved children's book. So yeah. But that's my thoughts on the 2006 remake of Charlotte's Web. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned on the next video. Later.